Okay, let's review the Newton's second law problem solving process. This is a process that you have to use to solve Newton's second law problems. I don't know how you can solve Newton's second law problems otherwise, although many of you will choose to do otherwise. The process is, in general, right, the first thing you always want to draw a diagram to indicate that you understand the setup of the problem. Then, in Newton's second law, we draw free body diagrams, and free body diagrams, FBD, free body diagrams. And if there's more than one body in the problem, you're going to draw more than one free body diagram, because a free body diagram is only of a single body. So that's supposed to be a free body diagrams. Okay. And then you choose your directions, X and Y directions, right? You choose your X and Y directions, and keeping in mind that your X and Y directions are not necessarily horizontal and vertical. Actually, the best way to choose your directions are to choose the positive X direction to be in the direction of the acceleration, or whatever you think the direction of the acceleration is. If you get it wrong, that's okay. But the best convention is to choose your positive X direction to be the direction of the acceleration, and your positive Y direction then to be the perpendicular direction. Then we're going to write down the relationship that we're going to use. In this case, generally, it's going to be write down F net equals MA, simply just to indicate what you're going to use, and break it into components. Write down F net X equals MAX, and F net Y equals MAY. So you're just going to write that down to indicate that that's what you're going to use. Then, from the free body diagram, we're going to apply this to, let's say we're applying it to a certain body in the picture. Then you, whoops, this doesn't look like F net Y. Then you identify the net force in the X direction from the free body diagram. You identify the net force in the Y direction from the free body diagram. You plug in what you know and what you don't know on the right-hand side. So you identify the left-hand side separate from the right-hand side. And then you solve for what you need to know, what you don't know. So this is the general process that should be used every time. So let's go ahead, and we solved a couple of these in class. Let's go ahead and solve a couple more problems. I'm actually going to go ahead and number these steps so that we can refer back to them. First step, draw a diagram. Second step, draw free body diagrams. Third step, choose your directions. Fourth step, identify the relationships you're going to use. Sometimes we'll use more than just F net equals MA, right? If we're talking about velocities or distances, we got to use kinematics to relate the accelerations to that. But we're going to, if it's a Newton's second law problem, we're going to start with F net equals MA. The fifth step is to identify the net force from the free body diagram. And the sixth step is to identify or write down anything that we need to know on the right-hand side. And then the seventh step is to solve.